Los Angeles Chargers just scored a touchdown to go up in Thursday Night Football 14-10. I thought perfect time to get on here to give you the preview for this Sunday. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a preview edition of Believers Talk, where we talk about the game coming up this Sunday as the Buffalo Bills go up against the Cleveland Browns. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, if you're watching live or if you're watching the recap, either way, make sure you hit that subscribe button for continuing Buffalo Bills breaking news. And also, we constantly give you Buffalo Bills coverage, whether it be previewing the game every Thursday during halftime of Thursday Night Football. Believe me, guys, this will go into halftime. As you guys know, normally lasts a lot longer than we think it will. So I want to make sure you guys get enough time to watch the second half, as well as this has turned out to be a good game so far. So I hope you guys are appreciating it as well. Welcome, Scott Blakely. Welcome to Believers Talk. Always glad to have you in on these streams, man. Always good to talk to you. Was hanging out with you yesterday during hashtag sports live stream, guys. And again, Believers Talk and hashtag sports teaming up to give you the best 2019 play-by-play and reaction coverage to our Buffalo Bills. And that includes this Sunday as I present you the play-by-play and reaction to the Buffalo Bills versus Cleveland Browns game, both here on YouTube and over on Sportscaster. So make sure you check us out. Go Buffalo Bills, says Bert Jeremy. Yep, absolutely. Uzi T. Welcome to Believers Talk. Glad you guys can make it in here again. We're going to preview the game between the Cleveland Browns and our Buffalo Bills, a game where the 2-6 team, who's home, the Cleveland Browns, are favored over our 6-2 Buffalo Bills, currently lying at 2.5 points. And guys, I was listening to a lot of people make a lot of sense today about how Vegas doesn't like to lose money, so something smells fishy. I hate to say it. Obviously I'm cheering for our Bills to win this game. I picked them to win Wednesday during my pick'em video, but I just think something smells fishy. And we know this is the first game that Kareem Hunt can play for the Cleveland Browns. So that obviously changes things for the Cleveland Browns. Kareem Hunt serving his 8-game suspension, and this will be the first game that he's able to play. The coach for the Cleveland Browns already stating that they have plays in line for Kareem Hunt to run, and that's going to be one of my keys to victory as well. Scott Blakely, Uzi T writing in, all my family and friends in Buffalo are scared to death with this game coming up Sunday. I'm not, for some reason. Again, something smells fishy when you're talking about a 2.5 point underdog, and we're the 6-2 team traveling to the 2-6 team. Something smells fishy. Don't have a good feeling about this game, says Uzi T. If you're a Bills fan, you say that about every game, right? You just don't have a good feeling about it. I think the culture's changing, though, in Buffalo. Like last week, for example, I was talking to my wife, and during the game, after the game, I was like, I felt calm pretty much the whole game. Now, if you watch my play-by-play and reaction videos, you know that I'm never calm. But for the most part, I was feeling pretty calm about the result of the game. I was pretty sure the Bills were going to win, even when it was a one-possession game. I felt confident in our Bills defense, even though they gave up a lot of running yards. Again, only gave up field goals, no touchdowns in this game, so I was happy about that. And then just felt confident in this team. This game, yeah, I can see why some people are going to be scared. I'm not too scared about this game. We're in Cleveland. I understand that. Going to be a tough place to play. Dog pound always is. I'm not scared. If we lose, we lose. It's unfortunate. We don't want it to happen, but right now we have that fifth seed right now. This is the first wild card spot. Even if we lose, there's still plenty to play for in this season, and there's still a good schedule to do it with as well. But I want to win this game because I think if we win this game, we might have a chance to catch the New England Patriots. If we lose this game, not a chance at all. But again, guys, thank you for joining me. Hey, Anthony, how you doing? Hey, Ronald, welcome to Believers Talk. Piano Witz writes in, Bills Mafia is going to travel well. You can count on that. Many friends and family going, good. We need to travel well. Always enjoy seeing Bills Mafia traveling well to these games. We saw them travel well in Nashville when we played the Titans. We saw them travel well when we played, who else did we play that they traveled well? I forget. I forget these things. Oh, the Jets, right? We also saw them week 1 against the Jets. They traveled well. Week 2 against the Giants, they traveled well. That's something that this team does, is they travel well. You gotta love Bills Mafia, and for one of those many reasons. So let's go over some keys to victory in this game. Again, guys, I don't want to be on here all night. I want to give you guys a chance to watch what should be, maybe, hopefully, a good second half to a Thursday night game as the Oakland Raiders and the LA Chargers Chargers. Currently 14-10 Chargers in the second quarter. Again, getting ready for halftime there. Let's get to some keys to victory. And then also we could talk a little bit more. Hopefully you guys have some things to chat about in the chat section. Guys, again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you are joining me for the first time, or if you've been here a bunch, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. It helps me out, helps the channel out. And again, let people know that we are here. Just like the Eagles were desperate for a win and backs against the wall and taking bad press, they're going to want this one. Hopefully they continue to implode, but we need to stop the run, says Uzi T. And that, of course, is going to be our first key to victory. Good segue, Uzi T. Way to get me in there. So my first key to victory, again, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. Kareem Hunt, it's going to be his first game back. Talk about Nick Chubb, a beast for the Cleveland Browns. The first key to victory is going to be stopping these two guys up front, and not just necessarily the run. Kareem Hunt with those screen passes, you need to watch those as well, because once Kareem Hunt gets in the open field, guys, he could take off, and the numbers prove that. So I'm going to go over some numbers for these two guys. Obviously, the Kareem Hunt numbers are from 2018. Nick Chubb so far this season, 154 rushes for 803 yards. That's 5.2 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns for Nick Chubb so far this season. Glad I can help, says Uzi T. All in the trenches, says Scott Blakely. And, that's one thing we need to talk about. You talk about signing Corey Liuget just this week. What impact is he going to have at the defensive tackle position? You talk about Jordan Phillips having a monster season so far. What impact is he going to have? As Coach McDermott said, he has earned that starting job. He's earned that starting job, and he started last week. Let's see if he starts again this week. Yes, Star Lotulelei needs to impress, right? He's probably hearing the bad press too right now. A lot of fans not happy with what they're seeing on Star Lotulelei. Again, I think he's taking on a lot more double teams than people realize. And that means our linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, they need to step up. They need to be able to shed some blockers, get into those holes quicker, and that's what's going to stop the run. Now, we saw last week against the Washington Redskins, we saw us do a better job in the second half. Now, some people are saying that the Redskins had to abandon the run because they were behind. Remember, in the fourth quarter, they were still only behind that one possession. So I don't think they had to abandon the run as quick as people say they did. Adrian Peterson had over 100 yards on 8 carries in the first half, had 7 carries in the second half, only 7 yards, maybe even 8 carries in the second half for 7 yards. So great job by the Buffalo Bills making those adjustments. And we're going to have to make those adjustments again, make those adjustments on the fly. And that's one thing you got to love about Leslie Frazier and this defense and the defense he runs. Coach Frazier has done a great job making adjustments as the game goes on. We make fun of Brian Daboll on the offensive side for not being able to do that so well. Well, if we're willing to make fun of one of our coaches for that, we have to really give credit to our other coach for being able to do that. That's why this defense is 3rd in the league. I know this run defense is 19th in the league right now, but you talk about getting Corey Liuget, formerly of the Oakland Raiders and the LA Chargers, and hopefully that will just make that rush defense a little bit better. Again, you talk about Nick Chubb, you're talking 5.2 yards per carry this season. If you look at Kareem Hunt's numbers from last year, Kareem Hunt played in 11 games, 181 carries for 824 yards. That's 4.5 yards per carry. Still enough to get you a first down if you get 3 carries. But the thing you have to watch out for, remember I was talking about screen passes, right? 26 catches for Kareem Hunt last season for 378 yards for over 14.5 yards per catch. So that's what you need to really watch Kareem Hunt for. You have to trust Tremaine Edmonds to maybe even spy Kareem Hunt at times when he comes out of the backfield, and just stick with him, because again, if Kareem Hunt gets up on open field, you have to watch out, and you have to be willing to believe that he wants to make a statement, right? You talk about a guy who was suspended for the first 8 weeks, took a lot of crap for what he did, and we just need to see what he does, and that could be a huge game changer when you come about talking about this game right here between the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. So that's my first key to victory. Uzi T writes in, he says, it's not just star. Linebacker depth is thin, and our safeties are great against the pass, but don't always take the best angles against the run, and not in the box. Safeties that are going to be reliable tackles. I would disagree with our secondary part of it. I think our secondary is the angles. I look at Teron Johnson. And I agree with you. Teron Johnson is the one where I saw him take a few bad angles last week against Adrian Peterson. The rest of them I really like. I think that their tackling ability is fine. We've seen Jordan Poyer actually lead this team in tackles in plenty of games. I think he actually leads the team overall if you include assists and solo tackles. I think he leads the team in tackles overall. But I think that, Teron Johnson needs to take better angles on the ball. And even Levi Wallace at times, he does get beat. Scott Blakely, I feel like Josh Allen is going to let loose. People have been saying for the past 4 or 5 games, unfortunately, playing these Northeast teams, in November, December, the weather conditions may play a factor into that. We talked about these last 2 weeks how in Buffalo you're talking about 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, and I'm not sure if it's going to be much better in Cleveland either. Cleveland doesn't exactly have warm weather. Now, again, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking more about Dallas or maybe Miami the following week. In Miami, that's a good time to let loose. You have the warm temperatures in Dallas. You're in the dome. But we'll see what happens. Right now, Sunday looks pretty good in Ohio. You're talking about 50 degrees on the 10th with a precipitation chance of 10%. So, but we're talking about 18 mile per hour winds, maybe back in the 20s when we're talking about wind gusts as well. Again, not the greatest conditions to throw in, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if he does let loose. We'll see if Foster finally gets going. And again, we know that Brown is playing like that number 1 wide receiver. Sarah Neal was playing so well when Johnson was hurt, and since Teron starting, again, run D has been worse. I think there's a lot that goes into our run defense being worse. You can look at the Harrison Phillips injury. You can even look at the Matt Milano injury. I mean, Matt Milano might still be losing a step from that hamstring injury. We don't know, but lots of things contribute to that. The past 3 games have been really bad, and you look at this Buffalo Bills run defense. They are averaging, I think, 110 rushing yards allowed. Again, 19th in the league. But as for the first segue, now there's another segue. Scott Blakely, I'll give you credit for this one. My second key to victory is going to be Josh Allen holding on to the ball. Look, guys, I know that Myles Garrett is going to get to Josh Allen, right? I think we all can say that. We all know that Myles Garrett at some point in this game is going to get to Josh Allen. Talking about Myles Garrett already having 10 sacks on the season, more than 1 a game. The Cleveland Browns are actually 8th in the NFL in sacks with 25. Of course, most of them, again, because of Myles Garrett. But Josh Allen needs to be able to hold on to the ball, make smart decisions when Myles Garrett or any one of these Cleveland Brown defenders gets to Josh Allen. When there's pressure on Josh Allen, how does he react? What does he do? How does he create with his feet, with his arm, whatever the case might be? Or does he just take a sack? Or does he throw it out of bounds? He needs to know how to handle those situations. Again, it's the 11-year-old again. Hey, always good to see you in here, man. Just make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, I'm sure you have. But if you haven't already subscribed to Bill-ievers Talk, guys, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, of course, let me know in the comment section. My first key to victory was stopping Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, mostly in the run game, but also with those screen passes as well, especially with Kareem Hunt, the way he can explode in the open field as we saw 2 years ago in Kansas City. But now my second key to victory is Josh Allen, how he handles the pressure from the Cleveland Browns defensive line. I smell a Jerry Hughes strip sack. The Browns line is reliably porous, says Piano Wits, and we'll get into the Buffalo Bills defense versus the Browns offensive line as well. But yeah, Josh Allen just needs to make smart decisions. And I'm not saying that means that he needs to throw for over 300 yards. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, link in the description below. If you don't, click on that link. But if you follow me on Twitter, I have said before that I am willing to bet a good deal of money, maybe with some odds, that the first time Josh Allen throws for 300 yards, it's not going to be a winnable game for the Buffalo Bills. That's just not the type of offense this Bills team runs. Now, again, that can all stop with one big chunk play, right? You get 80-yard pass to John Brown early in the game, then all of a sudden things change. But I think that the game the Buffalo Bills play is a run first, a clock management, few possessions, just like we saw last week against the Redskins. Redskins play that type of offense as well. That's when we only had 8 possessions last week. It's hard to throw for 300 yards when you only have 8 possessions, when you only throw the ball 20 times. So that's what I think about that. Scott Blakely, 51 degrees on Sunday is a heat wave, low 20s in Chicago right now. It is a heat wave, but again, when you throw the ball, you got to look at that wind. 18-mile-per-hour winds, wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. That's going to play a difference in the passing game. Brian Edgar writes, all QBs fumble and throw interceptions, even the best ones. I think we're a little too hard on Josh Allen. You're talking about 12 fumbles in his career so far. All right, and I know some of the young guys have fumbled that much, and I know that early on in your career you're more prone to turnovers, but needs to stop. He fumbled the ball 2 times last week, and luckily the Bills recovered them, but you're talking about 12 fumbles in less than 2 seasons. I know you might think we're hard on him, and again, we're saying that we're seeing a lot of improvement in Josh Allen. That's just one of the things that we need to see improvement on as the career goes on, right? I'm not saying that he's a terrible quarterback for fumbling all these times. I like Josh Allen. I think he's made strides, so many strides to be a better quarterback, but one thing he needs to work on still is those fumbles. He hasn't thrown an interception in 3 games. I'm telling you what, that's awesome. That's the first time in his career. I really like that. And you could say he hasn't passed the ball that much, he hasn't thrown the ball that much, but he was throwing the ball just as few times last season and early this season and throwing interceptions. So glad to see that he hasn't thrown an interception in 3 games. So keep a watch out for that. But yeah, no, I'm not trying to be hard on Josh Allen. But again, when you see something that needs improved, you need to point it out, and that's the only way he's going to get better. And so that's the one thing, or at least one of the few things that I haven't seen too much improvement on from last season to this, and I hope to see that soon. Kenneth comes in. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? Brown secondary is pretty bad. Might be worse than the Eagles secondary. I first see Josh throwing for 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, and Singletary 1 rush TD. If we score 4 touchdowns in this game, we will win this game. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. That actually gets me to my 3rd key to victory. You guys are doing great leading me into my keys here. Thank you, Kenneth. And I'll get to that in a second as soon as I get through these comments. Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham going to be a big impact on this game. We're going to talk about that in a second. Trey White will neutralize OB, so that's what you guys are talking about. So we'll see what happens there. But again, Kenneth, thank you for leading me to my 3rd key to victory. My 3rd key to victory is red zone to TD efficiency. The Buffalo Bills are 1st in the league in red zone to TD efficiency. That means when they get in the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns. They're scoring touchdowns 71.43% of the time. That's 1st in the league. Not only are they 1st in the league, but if you look at the road games, they're actually much better in the red zone. Road games this year, when they're on the road, they score 87.5% of the time a touchdown when they're in the red zone. Again, good enough for 1st in the NFL. The Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, 45.45%. Good for 25th in the NFL. Now, they are 55% home, but that's going to be key in this game, just like we saw in the Redskins game last week. If they get in the red zone and we stop them to field goals, we have a great chance to win this game, especially if we score 4 touchdowns, as mentioned by my man Kenneth just a little bit ago. But the red zone to touchdown efficiency is a huge stat. Again, you want to bend, don't break defense. That's the best way to do it, is show it on the scoreboard. And we saw this last week a bunch. People were saying, hey, they can run for 300 yards on us as long as we stop them to field goals every single time. I don't want them rushing for 300 yards against us. But again, if you stop them to field goal attempts, and we've seen field goal kickers miss a lot of kicks. So if you stop them to field goal attempts, then not only are you putting a lot of pressure on their kicker to make all of them, and again, we just talked about the wind conditions. Wind conditions affect kicks as well. So not only are you putting pressure on the field goal kicker to make all these kicks, but you're putting if you're putting up touchdowns, you're making it a lot harder on your opponent to come back to win if they're only scoring field goals. So again, this red zone to TD efficiency, I want to see the Bills get in the red zone a lot more. We've only been in the red zone 20 times this season, but I would love to see us be there more and still convert at this high of a rate. That's a really good number to see, guys, and that's why it's first in the NFL. Some more comments. Once he can hit an 80-yard pass, he will throw more deep balls. I hope so. I mean, we have seen him struggle, Josh Allen, with those deep balls so far this season, and I don't know if it's because he's working so much on his mid and short range game that he hasn't worked on his long ball. If we don't have the right guy to throw it to, we've seen Robert Foster lose the ball a couple times. We've seen him not on the field as much as we'd like to, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. John Brown, a much better route runner than Robert Foster, so maybe we have John Brown run those routes and not going deep as much, but still would love to see him complete some of those long balls. Again, as Hashtag Sports has said before, the less he completes those long balls, the more teams are going to start creeping up. Now, if he does complete a few of those long balls, then all of a sudden it becomes a threat. Those safeties have to back up again, but we have to see that happen before the defense is going to change how they play. Do I think that the Bills are going to run the ball as much as they did against the Redskins? They should. And here's why they should, because the Cleveland Browns' run defense is terrible. The Cleveland Browns' run defense, I believe, is 31st in the league, and so we need to take advantage of that, okay? And Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, two really good backs to do that. And it's even Josh Allen. We know we don't like the designed runs with Josh Allen, but we also know that he's going to face a lot of pressure in that pocket from Myles Garrett, from this Browns defense, which, again, it has 25 sacks so far in the season. We know he's going to face some pressure. So let's see what he does when he does face that pressure. Does he still keep his eyes downfield and make some plays with his arm? We know how good Josh Allen is at throwing the ball on the run. We've seen it time and time again. But this run defense for the Cleveland Browns is not good. Now that Devin Singletary is able to get a full load on his plate, we should use him as much as we can. Right, we should use them as much as we can, and we should make sure this Browns defense knows that we are capable of running the ball all day on them, and also keep the Browns offense off the field. You talk about OBJ, you talk about Jarvis Landry, you talk about this fierce run game, you talk about Kareem Hunt. Good way to neutralize them, keep them off the field. That's a good way to do it, to run the ball. So yeah, I think we are going to run the ball a lot. Some more comments. David, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. I just want us to look normal. Come on. I would love for us to look like a team that goes into a inferior team's home and takes care of business. One thing that the media has been saying about the Bills right now is, hey, we're winning games we're supposed to win. Well, even though Vegas doesn't think so, I think this is a game that the Bills should win. Playing a team that we're better than on paper, playing a team that is crumbling in the locker room. We've heard it, we've seen it. And I think that we are just better than this team, and we should show it come Sunday in Cleveland. Think they will give Dawkins help with Garrett? I absolutely think they'll give Dawkins help with Garrett. I think they'll need to chip away at Garrett. Maybe have Frank Gore, Devin Singletary, Patrick DeMarco, whoever the case might be. Knox on the inside, Lee Smith. We know how good of a blocking tight end Lee Smith can be, although I'm not a fan of Lee Smith recently. We know how good of a blocking tight end he can be. Constantly give Dawkins help, and he's going to need that help. And that's okay to need help against one of the premier pass rushers in the game today. And they often say one of the best ways to beat a premier pass rusher is to run right at him. So it'll be interesting to see if they run Devin Singletary right at Myles Garrett or if they try to go around. We know that Devin Singletary has the speed to get around, but Myles Garrett, again, one of the premier pass rushers in this game, will he be able to read that and stop Devin Singletary in his tracks? It'll be interesting to see. Let's go Buffalo, says Timothy Sherry. Absolutely. Would love to see the Bills come away with the win here. Go Bills, says Finn's Nation. Welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Thank you for joining us. Are you going to live stream when the Bills game is on? Yes, I am. I will be live streaming this Sunday for the game against the Cleveland Browns. And then the following Sunday, it's going to be the guys over at Hashtag Sports. So again, if you haven't subscribed to Bill-ievers Talk, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to Hashtag Sports, I have a link to their channel in my description below as well. Go over there, subscribe to them. They love having us. Say Bill-ievers Talk sent you. Great guys, Murray and Paul, they do a great job. So possible Gore has good game as they will focus on Singletary. I think it's possible Gore will have a great game just to make up for last week, right? Last week we had 11 carries for 15 yards, missed on five 1-yard gain type situations. He missed 3 goal line situations where it was first, second, third and goal from the 1, missed all 3, and then 1 third and 1 in the third quarter, and then a 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, something like that. Just really not that great of a showing for Frank Gore last week. I think he has a lot to show this week to see what he can do against this Cleveland Browns. Again, not a great Cleveland Browns defense, especially when you talk about the run game. So that's my third key to victory, is that red zone TD efficiency. My fourth key to victory is penalties, guys. Penalties. Again, we always talk about a game in the NFL. You say two things you can control: penalties and turnovers. And if you stop those from happening, you have a good chance you're going to be in those games come the end of the game. And you look at Josh Allen with his fourth quarter QBR, the best in the NFL right now, and you know that he's going to give you a chance to win games in the fourth quarter as long as we're in those games come the fourth quarter. Right now in the NFL, Cleveland Browns average 9.4 penalties a game. That's the worst in the league. It's the worst in the league, and that's after they only had 5 penalties last week. So we know that they are prone to committing penalties. And you can call me Harry. All right, Harry. I'll happily do that. It's gonna be a little bit easier to say than your name. So yeah, I will call you Harry. But yeah, go over to hashtag sports if you haven't already. But the Cleveland Browns are 32nd in the league in penalties, right? Averaging 9.4. Buffalo Bills are better, but we still need to do better. We're 21st in the league, averaging 7.6 penalties per game. Now, the Cleveland Browns averaging almost 80 yards in penalty yards a game, 78.9. Buffalo Bills 61.1. So you're talking about almost 18 yards difference there. So if we capitalize on their mistakes, their penalties, their turnovers, I feel like we have a great shot to win this game. Again, I feel like the Buffalo Bills team is the better team here. Still not sure why Vegas is giving Cleveland 2.5 points. However, again, the addition of Kareem Hunt changes this offense. So it'll be interesting to see if Freddie Kitchens has the right offensive game plan now that Kareem Hunt is in the game. Will they utilize Kareem Hunt in the right way, or will he just be another piece that just falls off, just like Odell has, just like Jarvis Landry has? You know, the only big piece that the Cleveland Browns have that really has lived up to the billing so far this year is, of course, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, again, having a great year, and that's why that's my first key to victory. So those are my 4 keys to victory, guys. Odd way to spell Harry. Hey, again, it makes it easier for me to say it, so I'll do that all day. Those are my 4 keys to victory, guys. That's what I think the Buffalo Bills need to do to win this game. It's halftime currently in Thursday Night Football. The Oakland Raiders did take the lead. It's 17-14, so if you're interested in getting back to that, we'll be done here shortly, so you guys can get back to the second half of that game. Again, if you're new to the channel, guys, like this video, hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to that 1,000 mark, right? We're getting really close to that 1,000 mark. I really appreciate all the support. Would love to hit that mark, then I can go live on my mobile devices and hang out with you guys anytime I want to. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And again, like this video, leave a comment. I think the game is going to be 23-10 Bills. I would love to see that. I would love to see this Buffalo Bills. And again, if the Buffalo Bills defense holds the Cleveland Browns to under 17 points, I think we have this game in the bag. I think we can definitely score more than 17 points against this Cleveland Browns defense. I think that that what we heard in the media this past week with Odell Beckham and with Baker Mayfield, they're going to try to feed Odell Beckham the ball. Well, we know who's going to be on Odell. It's going to be Tre'Davious White, right? Tre'Davious White, 3 interceptions so far this season. My defensive player of the year for the Buffalo Bills at the halfway point. I think that would be a mistake to target OBJ against Tre'Davious White. I think Tre'Davious White, a lockdown corner, has done a great job against everyone he's played this year. Now, obviously, he hasn't played anyone nearly as talented as Odell Beckham, but I think he can hold his own against Odell. We saw what he did last year, right? Last year when we played against Houston, against the wide receiver there, whose name again slips my mind for some odd reason, Johnson. No. You guys will let me know in the comment section who I'm talking about. Terry Bradshaw did the line this week. I know Terry Bradshaw is talking bad. How do I buy you a beer, says David. David, the way you buy me a beer is if you watch over on Sportscaster, they have tickets, right? And so you go over to sportscaster.com, you get a ticket, 200 of those tickets. I think when you sign up, you get 500 tickets. If you give 200 tickets to the channel, buy me a beer. I'll drink one on Sunday. Every time one's bought for me, I'll drink one unless it gets to be a ridiculous amount of numbers. I am not that big of a drinker, as I said in my previous stream. Once you become a father, things stop for a little bit. Your drinking game kind of takes a hit, but we'll have some beer there. We'll have a good time. So yeah, go over to sportscaster.com, and again, sportscaster.com changing the game, and I hope to bring that to you on Sunday. The way that hashtag will bring it to you on Sundays when they do it. We'll see what happens. I'm not the most technologically advanced person in the world, but we'll do our best. Hey, Jack Patrick, welcome from Hawaii. Good to see you. Glad you could join the stream at your, mid-afternoon, I believe it would be there in Hawaii. I hope you're enjoying yourself. It's probably a little bit warmer than it is here in the States, especially in the Northeast. So hopefully you're enjoying that weather. Hopefully you're enjoying your afternoon and you're enjoying a little sunshine right now. Talking some Buffalo Bills football. Let's go Buffalo in the chat if you like the Bills. Hey, absolutely, guys. Hit me up. Go ahead and knock out the Let's Go Buffalo in the chat right now if you're going for the Bills this Sunday. Hey, thanks a lot, Kenneth. I really appreciate that. Let's go Bills. Absolutely. 5:05 p.m., 82 degrees. That sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty nice right now. Right now it's 10:05 here, and I believe the temperature outside is like 35, 40 degrees. So yeah, you have it a little bit better than we do right now. Have Browns been moving OBJ around because Trey doesn't move around much? They haven't actually been moving OBJ around all that much. He's mostly been staying with the number one cornerback, and that's one thing that Cleveland really hasn't been doing well is changing their personnel, changing it up. We saw a couple plays last week, Cleveland against Denver, yeah, where OBJ got open and Baker just didn't throw him the ball. The fact that OBJ is not Baker's first read on most passing routes is a problem, but it's their problem, and hopefully it continues this week, or maybe not. Maybe we should be happy that they try to force feed OBJ, give Trey White plenty of opportunities to intercept that ball, play some good defense. How do I buy you a case? Hey, if you want to buy me a case, I'll give you my address. Drop me a personal message, and we'll talk, Scott. We'll talk. But no, we'll look forward to it. Cold. Yeah, it's a little cold here, Jack, especially if you're used to those warm weather. Let's go Buffalo, says Harry. I appreciate that. But again, guys, those are my 4 keys to victory. Again, the fact that the Browns are 2.5-point favorites scares me a little bit. I don't know what Vegas sees. I don't know why they're picking them. Again, is it as simple as the Kareem Hunt situation? Kareem Hunt coming back again. If you're just watching Kareem Hunt's during 8-game suspension for some activities they did during the offseason. I think domestic violence is involved. I forget. But he's coming back. This will be his first week back, and we know how explosive he can be. Again, I said it earlier in the stream. 181 carries for 824 yards in 11 games last season. And then we're talking about screen passes, 26 catches for 378 yards. That's an average of 14.5 yards per catch. So we need to watch out for that. Thank you, Ronald Enex. Absolutely. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. Helps me out. They say Trey will shadow. I think that Trey should be on him all day, especially with the safety help up top. You're talking about Poyer and Hyde. I think that would be a good matchup. Levi Wallace on Landry, though. I'm not sure how much I like that. Maybe Teron Johnson get a little physical with Jarvis Landry. That'd be good to see. I don't like Teron Johnson in the run game still. Hopefully the defensive coaching staff, you're talking about Coach Frazier and Coach McDermott, who is a defensive mind. Hopefully they talk to him about how to take better angles towards a running back, especially again going against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt can change the game with his speed too, so you have to watch that. Hopefully we shadow him coming out of the backfield. Like I said, maybe Tremaine Edmonds, maybe Matt Milano. Shadow Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield. Make sure they don't beat us with too many screen passes. We know how bad the Bills are against the screen pass, or how bad they've played so far this season, especially against the running back screens. Definitely a chance to open that up. So we don't want to see that. But again, that's really one way that Cleveland can really beat us in this game, is if they work on those quarterback screens, or the running back screens, I should say, and they can run the ball effectively in both the first and second half. But again, even if they run the ball effectively and we bend and don't break, and what I mean by that is they don't score touchdowns, we stop them to field goals, we have a shot in this game. I think the Buffalo Bills have a great shot in this game. That's again why I picked them to win this game. We'll go over my score prediction Sunday before the game starts. I'll give you the inactives. Again, the Buffalo Bills, one great thing, if you guys haven't heard, the injury report for the Buffalo Bills is very, very small. The Buffalo Bills are very healthy, and that includes everybody minus rest days, minus the rest days they give, like Lorenzo Alexander, Frank Gore, and some of the others. all full participants in practice today. So that's really good to see. Hopefully that continues throughout the season. Hopefully that continues this Sunday. It's just hard to stay this healthy this long if you are. Sorry, guys, give me a second. If you've been playing football for 10 weeks, it's really hard to stay healthy in the NFL. Scott Blakely writes in, do you think the respect line will go up if we win? Not that I care, just saying, or will it? Again, I think the narrative will be Cleveland's a bad team, not Buffalo's a good team, and I think that everyone in the media will say, well, they're beating the teams they're supposed to. And again, we have to look at that because Vegas is not saying we're supposed to win this game at all. Vegas is saying that we should lose this game actually. Now we know Cleveland's at home. We know actually that the bettors shaved half a point off this game already because it was 3 to start and now it's only 2.5. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Again, I don't know how our run defense is going to do against Nick Chubb, against Kareem Hunt. That's really the biggest question. I don't fear Odell Beckham, Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry. I don't fear them. I really don't. I'm only worried about this run defense. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I know our pass defense is legit. I know that they can take out these star wide receivers. I'm just worried about Nick Chubb. Scott Blakely, 31-13 Bills win. Would love to see that. Corey Liuget has childbearing hips. They better stop the ground game. And again, Corey Liuget comes in. We sign him from again, previously of Oakland, then he was cut by Oakland. We signed him as a free agent. And, this is his first week with the Bills. We have to remember that, right? He knows what he's doing on the inside. 9-year vet, I understand that. But this is his first week with the Buffalo Bills. We saw Vincent Taylor last week after he got picked up by the Buffalo Bills. He had 3 tackles, 1 for a loss. It was a great time to get a tackle for a loss, but at the same time, it was 3 tackles. We can't expect too much from Corey Liuget right now. Again, since it is just his first week, I do expect to see him in there. I do expect him to make a play or two, but I don't expect him to change the game, right? I expect him to make a play or two. I expect him to help out this Bills run defense in the future, but it's hard to say week 1 that that's what he's going to do. Let's get to 1K subs, 979. Hey, again, I appreciate all you guys no matter what. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much. We will be doing something special when I get to the 1,000K mark. I promise you that, but I'm not sure exactly what that is. Have some time to think about it, but we'll let you know. Seriously, check it out. Like those old aviator pants they wore in the days of the Red Baron. What did I miss? Oh, what did I miss? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Taylor had 3 tackles and 9 snaps. That's legit good. Absolutely. No, it absolutely is. But again, he only played 9 snaps, right? And that's why I would expect Corey Liuget to play this Sunday as well. Something like 9-15 snaps on the day. That would be really good for Corey. And I expect Vincent Taylor to maybe get a bigger workload as well, right? Get up to that 15-20 snap count maybe as well. But when you have a rotation, remember we have 5 defensive tackles now. You're talking about Star Latuile, you're talking about Ed Oliver, you're talking about Jordan Phillips, you're talking about Vincent Taylor, now you're talking about Corey Liuget. We have 5 defensive tackles. That gives you a great rotation. Have fresh guys coming in when they can, and then that will help us stop the run, right? If we have fresh defensive tackles in there and they have some offensive linemen who've been in there for a little bit, maybe we can get a quick second on them, right? This game is a game of inches, game of seconds. If we can get that second on them and move a little bit faster than they can, maybe stop that run game and tie them up in the middle. Now, we did see that one play last week that really bugged me when it seemed like Adrian Peterson was tackled in the backfield, able to cut out to the left and gained about 15 to 20 yards because a couple people missed tackles. That's the play where Latuile had him. I mean, Adrian Peterson ran into Latuile and he just bounced off him and ran to the outside. It was kind of ridiculous. Do we need a tall receiver, or is that Croft? Croft should be playing for the Jets. He's a ghost. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Croft hasn't been doing much for the Bills this season. Obviously, we like Knox. I don't know if the Bills need a tall receiver. I don't know who they can go get. Maybe next year we look at that in the draft. But we saw what happened to wide receivers in the draft this year. But man, I would love to have DK Metcalf. At this point in the season, would you be willing to give up Cody Ford for DK Metcalf? Because we could have got him. And that would have been a game changer, I think. And I know Cody Ford, I still have high expectations for Cody Ford, don't get me wrong. But Cody Ford just isn't there yet. Where DK Metcalf already looks polished in Seattle, man. And now I know Russell Wilson is better than Josh Allen. I get that. But man, DK Metcalf would have been a game changer. So that'd be interesting to see about that. Yes, Ford for Metcalf. Oh, yeah. I don't think we need a tall receiver because they can't run as fast as the small wide receivers. That's not always true, Harry. I'll say that. Sometimes those tall, thin wide receivers are better. I mean, T.O., perfect example of that, right? Tall, thin, lengthy. That's the kind of receiver you want to run down those tall routes. And the reason why I want that is because they have time to get underneath the ball, right? And if they can't get underneath the ball, they have the length to get it anyway. So I'm not sure that I would. Hey, Fantastic Fish, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Glad to have you in here. Duke Williams has sufficient side for red zone and key blocking. Duke Williams has done a great job blocking so far in his young NFL career, but he's kind of gone silent when it comes to receiving. Now, he was out last week. Hopefully in this weekend, not on the injury report, so hopefully we see him back this week, and that might add to some red zone targets. So again, I'll go through my 4 keys to victory as they are in the third quarter of the Thursday night football game. 17-14, the Raiders over the LA Chargers. So if you guys want to go back to watching that, I want to give you time to do that. My first key to victory and the biggest key for this game is stopping Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Again, I can't specify that enough. That's the biggest challenge with this defense. Again, the 19th ranked run defense. Need to stop Nick Chubb, need to stop Kareem Hunt. I trust our safeties and corners to stop those star wide receivers. I'm not worried about Odell Beckham. I'm not worried about Landry. The only reason I'm worried about Landry is because we know he's going to get a cheap shot in somewhere, right? He's the guy that took out Aaron Williams. He's the guy that went after, who did he go after last year? Trey White or someone last year. We know what Jarvis Landry has done in the past. We know he's capable of a cheap hit or two. That's why I'm worried about Jarvis Landry. Who is he going to get a cheap hit on? Not necessarily how well is he going to do in the field of play. I think that we can do a good job against these wide receivers. I think that the biggest problem is going to be Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Let me get to some of your comments. If you can, if you give a big guy capable of playing a slot, he's a matchup nightmare. I agree. Sabres play tomorrow. They actually play back-to-back. They're in Sweden, I believe, right now. Playing internationally, that's all I'm going to say. So they have a back-to-back, and then they fly back, so it should be fun to watch. But yeah, the Sabres do play tomorrow. We'll keep you updated on how the Sabres are doing. Currently on a little bit of a losing streak, so we want to get that halted. Had a few days off here with the international travel, so hopefully the Sabres will be doing better. But again, going through my keys to victory, stop the run with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and that includes Kareem Hunt in the screen pass. Josh Allen making smart decisions when he's under duress by this defensive front of the Cleveland Browns. Again, Cleveland 25 sacks so far in season, tied for 8th in the league so far. And of course, you're talking about Myles Garrett with his 10 sacks this year. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a problem no matter who you have on him, whether it be whether you give help to Deion Dawkins on the inside, whether it be a tight end, whether it be Singletary or Gore. He's going to be a problem, okay? And Josh Allen needs to know what to do when he comes over that line, whether it be create with your legs, whether it be take a sack, or whether it be throw it away. Any one of those options, you need to know what to do. You can't turn the ball over. You cannot fumble the ball. You need to be able to hold on to the ball. One of the things that Cleveland needs to do in order to win this game, in my opinion, is win the turnover battle. So as long as we don't turn the ball over, we should be in good shape. Third key to victory, 2 p.m. Eastern for the Sabres tomorrow. Should be a fun one. Again, international, always a good time. Might be able to turn on during work or something, and we'll see what happens. Maybe keep you updated either here or on my Twitter feed. Again, my Twitter feed in the description below. If you're not following me on Twitter, always doing fun stuff on there, so make sure you check it out. Third key to victory is going to be our red zone to TD efficiency. Again, the Bills first in the league in red zone efficiency, having scoring touchdowns on 71.43% of the 71.43% of the times they have it in the red zone, and that includes 87.5% when they're on the road. So when they're on the road and they get the ball in the red zone, 87.5%, we're getting touchdowns. Big stat there. Hope to keep that number up. The Browns only at 45.5%, 25th in the league. So again, we need to take advantage of that number as well. Need to stop the run, and we will force them to adjust. They are looking at the Eagles game and will attempt to mimic. Yeah, we actually saw the Redskins mimic it last week. A lot of plays actually look the same as was broken down by Cover One on Twitter. So again, if you're not following Cover One, watch them as well. Great channel, great stuff over there. And then my fourth key to victory is the penalties. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Getting ready to get off here, but glad you can join me. Once we're done, you can go back and check out what we talked about. I gave 4 keys to victories in this one just during recap. My fourth key to victory is penalties. We need to make sure we do not commit penalties. Cleveland seems to do that enough on their own. We don't need to help them out. Cleveland's averaging 9.5 penalties a game. We're averaging 7.5. So hopefully we can keep that number low for us, and Cleveland can keep that number high for them. Cleveland averaging almost 80 yards and penalty yards a game. We're just about at 60, and hopefully we can get that lower. Again, mistakes, penalties, turnovers. Don't make them. If you do not commit turnovers, if you commit very few penalties, you're going to have a chance to win games. Home, away, doesn't matter. So, guys, we're heading to the dog pound. Again, hopefully there's going to be a huge presence by Bills Mafia. I hope to see it. I hope you guys are there or watching. Again, if you're watching, make sure you check us out on YouTube, on Sportscaster. We will be live for play-by-play and reaction to the game this Sunday against Cleveland Browns. And also, Bill-ievers Talk teaming up with BewareTheStampede.com. Go to BewareTheStampede.com for all your Buffalo Bills news, guys. The look of the website's changing a little bit. Things are getting updated, and you'll see more stuff on there. It's a lot of fun. Check them out as well. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you guys there. I miss David Sills, says Jack Patrick. Remember the preseason hype? I remember the hype, but I remember him also not doing anything. Agreed about the penalties. Got to cut down, says Daly. Absolutely. And, that's something that Cleveland's screaming as well right now. Got to cut down on the penalties. Again, averaging over 9 a game. That's ridiculous. And again, that's after only having 5 penalties last week. So we'll see what happens on Sunday, guys. I will be with you guys throughout the week. I'll be with you tomorrow to give you an injury update. And again, it's going to be a short video because there's not too many injuries right now with the Buffalo Bills. So we'll talk about that, talk about some injuries on the Cleveland Browns side of things, and then we'll be with you Sunday for that live play-by-play and reaction video. So make sure you check us out. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and again, if you're watching on the retake or whatever you want to call it, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this game. Let me know what your score prediction is. I'll give you my score prediction on Sunday before the game kicks off. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.